be gentle on ourselves and grateful, even when we don't feel we're living up to our potential? That's exactly what we're talking about on the Manifesting Guide. But before we do that, if you'd like to get more done and manifest your desires, I invite you to get my new wish list creation process workbook at highertrueself.com/freebie. It's completely free and so much fun. This is Aryana Rollins, and you're listening to the Manifesting Guide, episode 59, Tapping into Self-Gratitude, which will also help us receive what we want. So I'm going to cover 3 topics. You're going to discover how keeping a record of what's right can be a powerful anchoring tool. You'll learn how maintaining an attitude of gratitude builds immunity to negativity in the world and in our own mind, and learn how to set intentions that are aligned with your true self so you can stay in your personal power. Now, I believe writing in a journal or just on a piece of paper or even thinking it to ourselves helps us stay in an attitude of gratitude, even when the rest of the world isn't so loving and gracious or we're not being kind to ourselves. In a sense, my intention with this podcast is to inspire you to greater truth in yourself about who you are at your core, this amazing human being born into this world. And as a side benefit, you will likely start to feel more accomplished, and which naturally increases self-esteem because you'll be getting the right things done, the things that are important to you. And without access to the right tools to help us see ourselves and remove the blocks, the grayness that covers us up, our growth can be capped as we age. So even if we decide to accomplish something new and meaningful, and it's beyond what we have already experienced, we meet resistance. And over time, this resistance grows into what feels like a life of its own. And in a sense, it is. It makes decisions for you and can literally sabotage your efforts. Then we wonder why it feels like we're pushing water uphill. We could be working harder, but experiencing even more frustration and like this discouragement with no end in sight. So we start to think it's us, right? And this resistance can grow. That's just plain sad, and I don't want that for you because I've been there. I wish for you to experience a life that's congruent, heart, mind, body, and soul, which I feel is the only way to live. And the first step is to set regular intentions and move toward them, which we're going to be talking about today, and how to make that process a little easier. So the next piece is discovering what we really want. That's important. A lot of times we think something's a good idea, but if our heart isn't into it, we're not going to do it. So when we focus on what we want, big or small, and we work on them, we create a trail of accomplished intentions that builds our self-esteem, our confidence, and we feel fully engaged with life. And what I call that is to live in alignment with true self. And when we're setting intentions aligned with our true self, accomplishment happens with ease because it's right for us. Okay, let's learn how to do things the easy way. To get you started about thinking about what you may want, and I did recommend at the beginning to get the wish list creation process. It's a great way to jumpstart that, especially if you're someone who goes along to get along and or you just love people and you want to help. So let's talk about money, because a lot of times people come to me, especially in the highest potential program, where they want to get more clients, they want to increase their income, and money's important. We will all agree on that, right? So let's talk about money. Do any of these 3 mindsets ring true to you? It's okay to have money, but to have to make money says I'm not good enough. And if I were truly good, wouldn't money just flow naturally to me? Second mindset. Having more money than others isn't okay, especially with all the suffering in the world. Third mindset. Making money is hard, or I have to work hard. I'm going to lose my free time, and it's going to be suffering, and I have to find some way to be okay with that. Do any of those statements stand out to you? If so, I'd like you to write them down. So releasing this mindset and stepping into more gracious receiving of what we want, whether it's money or something else. Let's start with mindset number 1. It's okay to have money, but the need to make money somehow says I'm not good enough. Well, how would that turn up in someone's life? Perhaps they're living on savings, or they're barely getting by. Perhaps they're able to manifest what they want, but it comes at the last minute. It's a bare survival level. How about number 2? Having money's more than other people have is not okay, especially with the suffering. This is a common poverty mindset, and there is no fault to us, because that's been the mindset of the spiritual community, that poverty is good, right? Well, we've been conditioned to think that if we have more than someone else, we're taking away from other people. Plain and simple, not true. It's there for all, which is why I love teaching manifesting. Third mindset. Making money by working hard and suffering makes it okay. This one's a tougher one to overcome because our ego can get involved. And that if you're suffering and working hard, you don't have time for yourself, then you deserve the money. But we really can't stay at that fever pitch, can we? We'll go into burnout. So there's obviously more mindsets that not only limit what's possible for us, but also can drag our energy down into fear, lack, worry, and limitation. So let's get started on minimizing the effects of these 3 mindsets. I say minimize because I believe these mindsets are what I would call cell level memories at their core. And this means things we absorbed from society, from our community, from how we were raised, and that takes special training to be able to release them. But with that said, I am going to start to soften it for you so you can become more conscious when that deep blocker is active, which is the first step in change, right? Ask yourself the question, and if you're driving, please don't do this. Listen to the podcast when you have a place to write something down. Okay, so ask yourself the question and write the answer. What would be possible without that thought? Whatever the thought is, okay? That mindset. Who would you be without that thought? Next question. What new behaviors or practices would you need to put in place to release the grip that scarcity mindset has on you? Make note of that. And a lot of times these things can come fast. Don't doubt them, don't question them, just write them down. So now we're going to be going into how to record those intentions and get the benefit of the subsequent growth in a few minutes. So here's 3 key benefits of doing this process, what I just guided you through, the questions, and then we're going to go into the exercise. I noticed that when I practiced self-gratitude for whatever I was doing, however I was performing, I wasn't as critical of myself. And that spilled over in the rest of my life. I wasn't as critical of others. I didn't have this high expectation that normally I would be transmitting emotionally in the background on myself, on my team members, on my family. Like the thought, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing that. You're not progressing fast enough. And then what happened, I started to notice I would accomplish things. And the things that were most important, I'd set my intentions from a calm place, not check emails, not focus on the squeaky wheel, but focus on something that would move my life forward, move my work forward. That boosted my self-esteem because we can get lots of things done. We can put out fires, but at the end of the day, we look back and it's like, what do we do with our day? Our year, our life. So looking at our intentions, not your goals, not your objectives. It's an intention. Let's define it. It's a course of action that one intends to follow. This puts less pressure on us, moving us towards something that we feel good about. And then we can start to put that in our to-dos And wouldn't that be grand if we actually accomplished things that were significant and meaningful? So let's try an exercise. This is where you want to get some paper, please. Please do this if you're not driving. Okay, first, or you can do it in your head too, that's fine. First, rate your level of joy and satisfaction about your life on a 1 to 10 scale. How do you feel in this moment? Now, if you can write it down, I'd like you to write down all the areas of your life you feel you're not being treated in a way you deserve. You're not being recognized. You want a different outcome or treatment. Good. Now read that list. Now rate your level of joy or satisfaction that you feel about your life right now on a 1 to 10 scale. Okay. Now reading those things of, let's say, complaint, that we're not being recognized, we're not progressing, that can definitely impact our level of joy and satisfaction with where we are right now on a 1 to 10 scale. So if you start from self-gratitude and the satisfaction of your life, and you are feeling that, you're going to be much stronger to handle the things that aren't working. Having that emotional satisfaction, like where you are now, and seeing yourself succeeding, it feels more energizing, expansive, and heart-opening, wouldn't you say? And did you know that emotions have energy associated with them? Like joy vibrates at an energy of 540, and apathy is 75. I know we can all feel apathetic when life isn't going in the way that we want it to. And we've been trying. I know that I've been there. Now, you may be familiar with the concept of law of attraction. There are a lot of teachers out there and how it works. My understanding is that you attract to you what you are energetically vibrating at, energetically processing. Think of entitlement or resentment can attract a very low level of emotion. And we feel it. We don't feel good, especially if we start to get into that. Our needs aren't being met and somebody should do something. Well, magnetically, we're in demand and entitlement. And that appears to others as needy. No one likes to be around a needy person. They like to be around giving, generous, prosperous, loving people. How about someone who expresses gratitude and appreciation and joy? What will they likely attract? That's simple, right? They're going to attract more of it. So think about it. How we feel and think. Does it affect the results we get in our life? Can it affect our health? Does anyone have an example of it? So the way at school that we handle our programming or lack, entitlement, scarcity. I mean programs in the highest potential program that we teach. The way that we handle that is we focus on a feeling of gratitude, and it could just be a starter spark. Is there any area of our life that's going well? And that energy vibration starts to attract the good in our life, and we attract who and what we are, especially when we clear blockers and we stay on that path of our essence, our being. And so I believe gratitude is one of those energetic pieces that I don't know if it's talked a lot about in the law of attraction. And when we practice over time, it brings all kinds of wonderful gifts. And it starts to train our eyes to see more of what we could be grateful for. And then we focus on that. In a sense, gratitude takes our blindfolds off. Instead of seeing only problems, and then we're focused on, with faulty thinking, trying to solve the problem, because it's very hard to solve a problem from the same mind that created it, right? And if we focus on gratitude and we start to see that there is a solution, we tap into that mindset of solutions, that creativity. And then from that place, we can take intentional, positive action. So I'd like you to just consider this over the day. And then we're going to go into a daily process that I do, and I'm inviting you to do it if it feels good for you. because I am more certain than ever that what I focus on grows. I clearly have become what I have thought about: the good, the bad, the ugly, and I accept that. Well, sometimes I don't accept it. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into how we can set our mindset straight to have the most amazing day. And there's a hidden benefit to it, because as we start to focus on what's right rather than what's wrong, then we give up the problem-solving mind and we begin to enter a wonderful new reality. One where we recognize we are the causer and creator of the outcomes in our life. I'm not saying that we create an accident, no, but how we emotionally feel about it absolutely infuses us with more pain than maybe it needs to be. So let's feel good. Let's do this jump start and feel good more of the time. Okay. So take a blank piece of paper, and this is just a quick assessment that I like to do with my clients at the beginning of any work that we're going to do, because we want to measure where we are. It's kind of like you're taking a road trip. You look on Google, your Google Maps on your phone, and you put in the address where you want to go, which is your intention, right? Right? And then it knows where you are right now. This is a little different because I'm going to be asking you to rate the areas of your life on a 1 to 10 scale, and please just take what comes up for you. It doesn't have to be like a deep thinking process, okay? And know this, that depending on where your mindset is right now, maybe you've had a rough day, these ratings are going to be colored by that. But if you've had a pretty, easy day, then you could probably trust those ratings. So let's start with emotional well-being. How well do you know yourself? How resilient are you? 1 to 10 scale, 10 being you can rock challenges and you come back to your center. Physical well-being, your health. Where is it now? Are you pain-free? Do you sleep well? Can you do the things you want to do comfortably? That would be a 10. Spiritual well-being. You have a sense that there's some benevolence in the universe, that you're on a path, your life is important. Maybe you even have a community that you go to. This does not have to mean religious by any means. Financial well-being. Where are you at in your life financially? Do you have enough to pay for what you need? Do you have a little bit of savings? Are you able to take a little break without worrying about it? Relationships, your intimate relationship. Where is that satisfaction on a 1 to 10 scale? 10 being you married your best friend. You feel safe, you can communicate what's going on for you, and they're the last person you want to talk to before you go to bed at night. How about friends and family? Rate those on a 1 to 10 scale. 10 being you can call someone, hey, I got to move, can you help? Or that you had a rough day and you want to talk it out without them fixing it. Okay? 1 to 10 scale. Okay, 10 would be peak. Great. We all have room to grow in this, but I just want to get this balance point, okay? And then your overall life satisfaction. Where are you overall? If you rate on a 1 to 10 scale, maybe the last week of your life, how good are you feeling about your life? Now, I'd like you to make a note on that. Note on a piece of paper, maybe if you use Google Calendar, do that. And then if you're someone who's been listening to the Manifesting Guide and you subscribed, I'd like you maybe listen to 1 episode a day, maybe a few a week while you're walking, while you're working out. And then I'd like you to put in your calendar to check your ratings after 30 days. And I'd like you to review the difference, because there's something about surrounding yourself with people who are at a vibration where you are, and not relating to people that are lower vibration, or at a vibration that's higher. Maybe they're a catalyst for you to jump into greater joy and gratitude and accomplishing more. But who we surround ourselves with it impacts us. It's like we're a fish in a fishbowl, and the water, we're drinking it. We are processing that water. Well, our friends, our family, our work is part of that water. We're in that milieu. I don't even know what that word is, but it keeps coming up this week. So then I'd like you to write down, after 30 days of either listening to the manifesting guide, I know there's wonderful supportive resources out there, or doing something, maybe reading something that's inspirational in the morning, or you're meditating. Whatever it is, you can pick one. I'm not saying you have to do hours in the morning of making changes in your life at all. Pick one. Listening to the manifesting guide while you're working out. Reading something from an inspiring book. Just read one page. Meditating. Do something proactively to manage your emotional and mental state, because that's what's going to make a huge difference in what you attract in life. Now, I'm not talking about attracting willy-nilly. I'm talking about attracting your intentions and what you want, because isn't that the most important? I guess not most important, let's say. Yeah, that we live our life fully, right? And so let's wrap back to what we were talking about at the beginning, how keeping a record of what's right can be a powerful anchoring tool. Writing down what's good in your life, what you're doing right, manifesting moments, synchronicity, little breadcrumbs, and then how maintaining an attitude of self-gratitude can build immunity to the world. Yes, we are that fish swimming in that fishbowl. We can't jump out. There is no fishbowl out there we can leap into, no matter what they have on the internet. But we can become more immune to our own negative mindset and those people by maintaining and focusing on self-gratitude, what we're doing well in our life. And then setting intentions that are aligned with our essence, our true self, so you stay in your personal power. I didn't go into as much of that as I would have liked to, but that's okay. We'll do it in another podcast about setting intentions that are in alignment with your true self. So now as we wrap up, I want to thank you for listening. It's so good to bring these to you. I get so much out of sharing this. And if you like the episode, and if you want to pass it on to someone, I'd love that. Or if you'd like to leave a review at podchaser.com. And as we wrap up, remember, self-confirmation frees you to succeed on your terms, to be yourself. Thanks for listening. So much love.